Welcome back. It's still Daybreak Africa, reaching in here from our studios in Ondo City. Of course, I'm Ezekiel. Ogar. This morning we are talking about leadership in Nigeria, analyzing the politics in the country. With us in the house is the political analyst, the person of Gbenga, Ajisafe. Welcome on Daybreak Africa once again.
Good morning.
Thank you for doing all this.
Yeah,
Yes, at this point,
Ezekiel,
it's safe to say happy Easter, happy
New
Ramadan,
month.
happy
we're in a month of celebrations, you know.
Yeah.
So, talking about leadership in Nigeria, I think while we were talking prior, I was actually trying to tell Angela about the LP crisis. Now, before we go into detail as to leadership generally in Nigeria, what do you think as to the LP crisis and how you think those crises within a political party tend to affect probably the candidacy or the person of Peter Obi amongst every other thing?
I think that is why politics is very deep. It's deep in the sense that they are using every means to pull out that party down. You can see the threats Labour Party have pulled in the last elections, and that alone, I'll tell you, the signal that those are people, those are the generation, the people are looking into towards, and they must have a ways of pulling it out. So they have to use means of dividing them. So they have tried all means through the shamans, and the shamans come back again. So they are trying to use another means also to push from the labor forces, so that the laborers will be seen Aburi as somebody that is not answerable to them. It should be answerable to them. I don't see why all these things coming up by this time, that the massive, even the civil servants are looking up to those parties. And these are the parties that Obi have taken to ride on. And you can see the way they have started with Apapa cases. Now the labor parties, the labor leaders are now seeing it as if they want to claim the ownership of the party also. So these are the areas that we should checkmate and see reason why these people are acting in these funny manners, why they're pulling the party down. Why is it now? The party have been existing for the past 20-something years. Why is it now that they want to kill each other because of the party have come to life? Nigerians have recognized it, people have embraced it, people have donated money, and people are sacrificing a lot for these parties. And now is the time they are starting this crisis. I don't see it. It's something that we are welcoming in 2027.
When it comes to politics in Nigeria and leadership, I think these two topics are quite very interesting. They are also intertwined. However, it brings coming down to what we see playing out today. When we talk about politicians, when we talk about the ordinary citizens, you tend to wonder how these things are supposed to operate, whereby we would have a very strong democracy. However, we're suffering on that part. Now, people tend to want to go out for particular political positions, and you see them trying to focus on their own personal interest instead of that of the citizens. Meanwhile, getting down to the citizens to just get 1 or 2 votes, and then at the end of the day do whatever they want with it, getting on that seat, they start doing something else. Now, these are things that we keep seeing occurring each and every time. What exactly do you think prompted this? What happened that we got to this stage whereby we can't even call them to order anymore? I mean, look at this judiciary system. You find out that they are even the ones giving answers to the judiciary system, asking them to do this or do that, or you just discover that they are working in their favor. So these are the things that we see happening in Nigeria, in Nigerians' leadership. What do you have to say about it?
Angela, I want to be frank with you that the reason why we are here is because of greed. And greed is part of nature, it's a natural instincts, is immense, is everywhere in the world anyway. But Nigerian crisis have got into this level because we failed to institutionalize strong institutions that can fight out corruption. Corruption is a means of greed. If we have strong institutions that we able to build, that's why we say our leaders have failed. The reason why they fail is that even the American, the so-called democratic system that is working, go to Britain, there is hardly do you see their leaders as corrupt as we are in Nigeria. there's hardly you can see them, because they build what we call a strong institution, a strong mechanism force that you will never steal a government, you will never steal a public fund. You will never do that, because there is a sanction, a strong sanction that is awaiting you if you did that. So the Nigerian systems is dying because our leaders fail, because of their greed, because of their the mind scope of stealing from the public. So that's why they cannot build a strong institutions to fight against corruptions. And the reason is not far-fetched, but they want to make money, like what you said. They want to make money from the systems. They feel the system is weak, and they want to kill the systems. So they are using that means of making money from the systems. So that's why Nigerian leaders are not doing Nigerian any favors. We are seeing them today, and they are working with our big cars, buying big houses. The roads is not being done. The schools and hospitals are not being up to date. The doctors are moving out of the countries because of the failures of the government, the failures of the leaders that have failed to develop a strong institution to fight against corruption, to fight against people that is coming in to come and steal Nigerian wealth for their personal gain. These are the areas that we should work on.
You tend to query our institution when it comes to fighting corruption. We have the ICPC, you have the EFCC, amongst others. Do you think they're not doing enough? I mean, just recently we saw the EFCC, arresting popular influencer Bobrisky, if I get that name correctly. And amongst other works they're doing, don't you think these are works enough, or do you think they are being blindsided to some extent?
Yes, they are blindsided now. Is it not this guy I say is always small petty thief that they have seen, and they are looters that they are seen, they are shining eyes. We are talking about big time. We are talking about check the past governors, check the past senators. The last area we are talking about is budget pardoning. How much our institutions, the EFCC, the ICPC, all these court-togethers, how many of these people are there prosecuted, and how effective are these prosecutions getting to? How many of them have been sentenced to prisons? Are we seeing those governors being sentenced to prisons? How many of them is not keeping back? Because we heard the senators, a former governor that say, your sin will be forgiven if you join our party. These are criminals that are saying their sins will be forgiven if they join their party. So these are areas that the institution should be stronger than the political will of any political person that is there today. Even if the president or the children of the president did the wrong things, the institution should be able to checkmate all these areas, so that the moment we have a strong institution to fight any person that is stealing from the public fund, that is when we start getting it right. That is when Nigerians start enjoying their resources, the so-called endowment that God has given to them. Without this, I think we're still going to be having this crisis that we don't have enough to eat whereby we are living in abundant land. So these are the areas that we should work on as a country.
Well, it seems you had enough to talk about when it comes to the Labour Party. Yeah, some of the amongst the various allegations labeled against Apure, some include mismanagement of funds, corruptions, and wanting to take over. Do you consider all these allegations realistic, or you probably believe all these are just probably external forces trying to disrupt the trying to set up structure of the Labour Party?
Yes, there's a panel being set up. If you felt the chairman is not doing well, and you cry out, and there's going to be a committee to checkmate, to see, oversight all these things that you bring an allegation. You can bring an allegation against person. There's also a room for him to be checked, to see whether this allegation you are talking is genuine or not. So if the panel came out and say, Aburi, you don't have any fault in handling these things, I think the man is free. But the panel came out and said, okay, this money is misappropriated, and you have no justification of spending this money or using this fund. And so that is area we should be able to talk about. People cannot just come out and say and bring out allegation. That is politics. That is propaganda. People can bring out anything and paint it black and say that man is black because you hate him and say he's black. Give us proof that this man is black. Tell us how feasible that this man is what we are calling him. So that is what we want to be seeing. We don't just want to be hearing names of him because we hate him, we don't like his style of leadership. Yes, you may not like his style of leadership, but he has been elected to that post and he's doing his jobs. And if majority said the man should stay, it shows that the man is doing well. If the majority of the leaders of the parties, if the majority of the leaders, the followers of the parties, if they say the man is doing a nice job, few set of people cannot just say he should be go. I don't think that is called democracy. Democracy is larger percent of people's. The majority have it. So we always say the high have it. Those who have.
Do you really believe majority works? The number works in Nigerian politics.
Power of influence. Anyway, we talk about Bobrisky the other time. I say Bobrisky don't have political will. There's the difference between famous and having a political will. There's the difference between being rich and having a political will. So you could be rich, just like what we have in Abiola times, when Abiola was the most richest in Nigeria. But you don't have the political will to stop Abacha, because Abacha have the will, the political will, the military will to stop him there, to arrest him and say you don't have to claim any mandate here. So these are areas that you fight. Bobrisky is famous, but you don't have this political will. If you have it, we have gone with that.
But with that Nigeria, area. Is it more like the numbers game or just influence?
Is it influence?
Yes, I'm asking. Is it a numbers game? Talking about democracy and having a population to your side. Does it really work in Nigeria, or is it more like influence or affluence rather?
Yes, it's more of this affluent of influence. If you check it, the number of leaders, number of political leaders that can wheel you out of a problems when you have problems. Number of call you can make that we say, okay, is our boy, okay, let's just keep quiet about it and just let it be on the papers for some time. You don't hear anything about it anymore. These are the influence you have in the societies. With the leaders of the political will to oversee or oversight what you have done.
Well, coming down to our constitution, many have already come out to say that our constitution needs to be changed. Our constitution needs to be reviewed, which brings about all this redefining and adjustment of one act or another. Now, looking at the aspect that talks about the president being immune to having immunity over any probably crimes that he has committed or anything of that sort, don't you think that this buys them the chance or opportunity to go against the law or feel like they are above the law? Don't you see this as a problem?
The constitution, there is no perfect constitution. Let me start with that. Nigerians, people have been crying at the constitution of 1999 is being done by Abu Salam with a military background and all that. I will say, okay, but these are the people that wrote that constitutions are Nigerians, and they are professors in laws, they are professors in all fields that sit down and start drafting a constitution. It's true, most of us will say our inputs are not part of the constitution, but we have a comfort whereby we send delegates, the one we call from each state to represent us in a comfort, and there's a report that they have been given out for today. I think it's part of it. The present government is trying to check on it. It's trying to work on it also. But the fact remains that if we have a less constitution, or the constitution that said is a military background and it doesn't have much effect on us, if we cannot hesitate or remove ourselves from being not having a strong institution in the sense that if the constitution is giving rooms for all these things that is happening in Nigeria today, and we don't have something to checkmate them, I want to salute the courage of the first the Fifth Republic who brought this anti-graft agency to today, which is the EFCC and the ICPC. But the first thing being that we need to strengthen these two bodies. We need to strengthen them, give them more powers, give the chairmen more powers, and those powers come all the way from the National Assembly, so that they can do the needful. So the leadership crisis we have in Nigerians is our own making. It's our leaders that have seen greedy as if it's part of their life. So if they can change all this, I think the Constitution, they don't have any fault. We can always amend the Constitution. I agree with that, but we have to institutionalize, strengthen our institution so that it can affect every person that is sitting on a public money or handling our public fund.
You know, when you talk about trying to change things, you want to focus on the individuals who are already there to do this. I mean, looking at the judicial system, which is expected to be the particular let's say body responsible for checkmating some of these things and calling people to order, making sure the law is properly executed, it is weak at this point, whereby now many people believe that if you're taking anything to court, if you do not have money, then you cannot succeed, or you might just lose the case, which is not supposed to be so. Don't you see this as well as a problem? Because when you think about how we begin to change things, does it now mean we have to evacuate every individual there and start imputing new people?
No, we don't need to evacuate anybody. What we need is, we have three arms of government. Judiciary is the umpire of those three. He checkmates the executive and the legislative arms. So the judiciary arms have their own faults. They have the bad eggs amongst them. But nobody is above the law. No person, no individual is above the law. That's why the law is always greater than everybody. And in the law courts, when those who come to the judge, we come with the fair hands, we come with equity, they used to say. So even the judge could be probed or be fined and sent to court and sent to jail. There's no, even the judge that is sitting down today on the case, if you find anything against him, bring him. It doesn't matter. He will go to another, he will not sit on his own tables when you drag him to another court. So the problem is, how are we sincere in strengthening our institution? Our institution started from our police, the law enforcement agency. These are the list, our police. How do we intend catering for them? And when we cater for them, we give them warning. We give them, look, we are giving you a salary of 500,000, a salary of 400,000 for the Nigerians economics. We are giving a house, a better house for you to stay, apartment. We are intend in giving you a package of insurance for you and your children, your family of 3, probably. You say, okay, 3. You give him a sense of belonging to society, and you tell him, look, after giving you all these benefits, if you are found wanting that you collected money on the road, you collected bribe, and we caught you on this thing, you are going to go for 7 years imprisonment for forfeiting all these benefits we have promised you. The insurance policy, the money you get. So the man will take to his store and look, this money they are giving me is enough for me to take care of me and my family. So if these people caught me with taking 20 naira or 15 naira or 100 naira on the road, I will forfeit all these benefits. That is building a strong institution. You give him a reason not to steal, and you give him a reason, if you steal, this is your punishment. The same thing happened to our political office holder. You tell them, look, we are giving you all this, but the moment we find that you are able to use this position and steal social amount of money, we withdraw this benefit from you. We withdraw your cook, your security, your DSS that you are giving you. As a ex-governor, they give them 2 DSS. They give them cook, they give them drivers, they give them allowance every month. So we say we withdraw all this thing from you. If you find out that after 4 years of your service, you use that position to steal again. But before we get there, these are things we are going to give you. This is areas that you check. Even the judge, you tell them, look, you are the chief judge of Ondo State, you are the chief judge of Nigeria. These are your benefits. Your children will be given scholarship. If your health insurance will be covered to social countries, give them packages that they will not steal. They will not have any reason to look for public money. And you give them a condition that if you leave this judge and we find out that you have taken bribe, somebody came up and say he bring an allegation that after there is a case that you sit down and you take bribe and we trace that money to your bank, to your cousin or your relative, all these benefits you fulfill them. So because of Africa, we like to protect our name, and we think we begin to change. These are the areas Nigerians can grow. But the moment we fail to do all this and we let people that steal our public money to come back to party and start spending it and start giving people and start sharing rice, and we say these are our leaders, no, these are not good leaders. These are bad leaders. These are bad examples. And we don't want that in our society. The society will not grow with all this mess they are putting into Nigerian systems.
Well, the failure of leadership in Nigeria cannot actually be underestimated, bringing it to the fact that we can see how the situation of the country is, how people are struggling to survive, how things are getting difficult on, let's say, a minute basis. However, bringing it down to the aspect where citizens are expected to elect their chosen candidates to lead them. Now, it is expected that they scrutinize these candidates, especially expected that they try to know one or two about this person before they even try to elect them. It is so difficult now as well. I mean, thinking about it logically, it's so difficult for one to just sit down and think that, okay, since this person has done this person has done this, probably he's going to act better in the society, because when you look at what's going on, it seems as though all of them are probably on the same slate, all of them are probably on the same level. You cannot really trust to know that, okay, this person would actually deliver the way we expect him to do. At the end of the day, the person just might disappoint you. So how do we begin to correct this? How do we begin to educate people to actually know the kind of the kind of candidates to choose when it comes to electioneering periods?
Yeah, thank you, Angela. I want to say that we should learn building characters from the North Koreas. You know, the South Koreas and the North Koreas have similar things, but there's something that took me off from the North Korea. Leaderships also need to be trained. Somebody that want to lead us should have gone into a particular training for about 6 months to see that public money is not his right to steal. Selecting leaders should be on this basis that we should have a place that a leader should be able to surrender. You know, Senegal, the Senegal president, the new president of Senegal, he declares access immediately. You want to go to the office, he declares total access. These are ways leaders lead. A leader should be able to tell his people, I have 3 plots of land in Abuja. I have 1 house in Ondo. My property is so my money is this as I'm going to the office. So when I'm leaving, I'm able to be able to account for what I'm able to save between the period of time I've served the public. These are training that those leaders need to learn. Nigerian today, you see governors taking position. You see senator taking position. You see president taking position. There is no access being declared. If they declare access, the access will be secret. Them and the DSS. No, we are not telling. It's going to be public because you are a public person. Let it be written. Let it be stated that this is what you have when you are coming in, and when you are leaving, this is what you have when you are leaving, so that we will not be able to attach anything to you when you are leaving. So that is area that Nigeria can get it right also. So if you are having a public officer that is going to be elected and is not being able to declare his access, we don't say you should not have money before you come in. But what we are saying is that we don't want you to go there and seize all the money that is belonging to the Nigerian masses to take it to yourself or your cousin or your nephew or your concubine. All these areas that we need to check. So we started from that, declaring your assets, be straightforward. If you cannot do this, tell us that this is not achievable. This thing cannot be achieved. But we have a plan of how to solve this immediate problem. I think that also will help us, because we have been fighting of subsidies for almost 20 years. Now we've gotten to an area that we say subsidies must go, subsidies have gone. So look at the hardship. So it shows that there's no proper plan. It shows that there's no adequate measurement in place, something that we put in place that we cushion the effect of removing subsidy in the first place. Because those who put subsidy in the first place have this idea that we want to cushion the effect. So when you want to remove it, how do you cushion the effect? Because the people are suffering, there's no food, enough food. That shows that you need to have invest in agriculture, you need to have invest in massive investment in industrializations, you need to have massively invest in road constructions. These are areas that you can do between 1 or 2 years and say, okay, let subsidy be removed, so that those areas that you are working on before, we serve as a soft landing if there's no subsidy in fuel again. So these are areas the government have failed also, or the leaders have failed to do.
I had opportunity to speak with someone some time ago. We spoke about political patronage, and this person insisted that Nigerians, the epicenter of Nigerians' challenge and trouble is political patronage. If we have a way to curb this particular challenge, then Nigeria will be safe. And the thing is, not just Nigeria as a country suffers from political patronage. We have political patronage. It happened sometime in the US, I think, late 19th century to the early 20th century. Somehow they tend to actually tackle that challenge. But amongst other challenges, other nations of the world, one way or the other tend to actually be affected by political patronage. Now, I want to know your take as regarding political patronage. Do you think it's more like a challenge that has come to stay? Do you see any way we could tend to tackle this particular challenge anytime soon?
Well, can we tackle it? Yes, we can. And the political graduates of today's have siphoned so much money that there's no how you can do politics in Nigeria without having enough money to go about it, right? Because the easiest way of making money is going to politics and siphoning people's public money. So people tail worse towards that, and because of the favors of getting contracts, the favors of getting a lot of things or juicy things that come from it. And these are areas that if we are sincere with ourselves as a nation, as an individuals who love his country, who want to make it better, we can always have a better and a good what will I use now? Well, we already get a better and good leaders who felt we should go in the good direction in seeing other nations being better for it. It's not bad that we are playing politics, but the politics we are going to be playing is politics of how do we develop our nation, our environment, our peoples. I think we should start with the First Republic, the Awolowos, the Zik, and the Tafawa Balewa. These people do more of developing their communities, their peoples. I was tailoring towards massive agricultural development in the southwest, the western region. Let me use western region because then it was western region. It was able to give free educations. It was able to do agricultural revolutions in the southwest, western region, and in the north, we can see a lot of beans coming out there. We have groundnut, massive agriculture in the north. In the east, we have massive trade. The trade was booming. I think that's why the Igbos are doing more of the trading today. The trade we are booming because they felt, okay, you can bring a wristwatch and you can sell it for a certain amount of money through the seaway, and that is what Zik have been able to achieve also. They are able to develop their peoples, and today's what is it that we are seeing our politicians doing? Are they really developing their peoples, or are they really developing the communities? The answer is no, because there's insecurity everywhere. The Amajiri is coming up every day, even here in Ondo. I want to do some documentary about the Amajiri because I've been seeing them. It's going to be these are time bomb that we've seen that is happening today. People see politics as a way of getting rich, and that's why every person you see today, either directly or indirectly, they want to belong to political gladiators. They want to become part of the political parties, especially the ruling parties. So if you see those direction going in that direction, so you see that we are not going nowhere. It is, and that's why we talk about selling this strong institution in those countries. Is either you are a Republican, Democratic. These are parties. These people stay in that party. People don't just move out of their party. They stay there because of their ideologies, their zeal to develop their countries.
Let's talk a little about our level of transparency when it comes to our leadership system in Nigeria. Do you think we are transparent enough? Now, there are certain decisions, like I said, we're talking, I and Angela prior, that certain decisions actually comes into play, which the citizens have no idea what went up beneath or on the table, but all we tend to realize was there was a certain proclamation made at some point, and somehow we are expected to just accept, adopt and just go out with it. Now, what's your take as to the level of transparency? Now, recently we had the issue of price hike. Not every Nigerian even understand what went on somewhere or how we went up, but they knew for the fact they woke up one morning and they understood there was a price hike. Nobody really understands the system behind it. Yeah? And we had the issue of course, the long-standing subsidy challenge, where people are not really understanding what's going on with the money. The money was expected, to be channeled into other sectors, but sometimes the governors tend to, claim they have not seen anything yet coming from some subsidies. Some claim they have just seen a little improvement, amongst many others. So what's your take as to the leadership transparency, especially in the presidency?
Are they doing transparency? I don't want to say these leaders we have today are transparent enough to tell us how they are.
Transparent enough or not transparent at all?
They are showing us. They want to be telling us they are dicey. They want to telling us that they are transparent. That is their body language. But inside it, they are not transparent. If you check it very well, you see that the levels of their transparency is not clearer to us, to the masses. Because today they will tell us that tomorrow, if you wake up tomorrow, you are going to see water in your houses. Tomorrow, when you wake up, you will not see water. They will give you an excuse that water ought to have come yesterday night. But the reason is that there's a delay. So you have to wait for another 2 days. So that is the way they are working. So that's why I say they are dicey. You can never tell either are they sincere or they are not that sincere. So you will give you hope that those things will come.
So does that mean they're not working for our interest? Because if you're not being transparent, yet the people actually elected you into the position, it simply means you're not actually there for the interest of the people. Have we said they're not there for our interest? They're rather trying to...
They are trying to bully us. They are trying to
bully us.
To tell us that they are for us. But actually they are not for us. Yes, they are not for us in the sense that you see a lot of protests that came up the last 2 months, that people are hungry, and the levels which the leaders, the government, especially the presidency, have taken it is that go and share rice to your people. Did he ask again, how effective is this rice being shared? Did he take a step to know how is the rice getting to the rightful people? This answer is no. The answer is that they keep those rights in a particular warehouse and they want to keep it for election or give it to their party members. Is it a right for party? Is it for a party people? So these are questions that we say, as a transparent, I say no. How do you be transparent that you say, okay, you share palliative to people, and the set of people that you share palliative, the palliative don't get to the right people? and you do not ask questions, you do not make findings, you do not checkmate them. Those who give the palliative, the governors are not answerable to anybody. The House of Assembly, they are answerable to themselves. So these are areas that we say no, they are not transparent to us because the masses are not seeing those things. Are you telling us that you are going to give us 4 cups of rice and you are telling us you are giving us palliative? Is that what we want? Is that how we sustain a family of 5 in this current hardship? And you tell people to wait. Are they going to wait and die before you start making move? And you people you are smiling, you are enjoying the public fund, and you say that you are transparent. Transparent to who? So we are not seeing the effect of those things that they are sharing. The palliative that the government is saying is sharing, we are not seeing the effect. Come down to the state. The state government are having more money now. What is the effect of the money they are having in the state level? Even in my state here, what is the effect of the palliative they are doing? No. The palliative in the school bus here, we are having our own children. Is only the only person that is doing that is Adebayo, that is giving school free shuttle to our students here. We are not seeing any government bus here in Ondo. I don't see any government bus taking any children, only public students to schools. I've never seen one. So why are we not saying we are deceiving ourselves that they are sharing palliative, they are giving house cars, they are helping the masses. Who are masses are they helping? Who food are they cooking? These are things that we are saying we are tired of this. We don't want people that will be giving us white and at the end of the day is black. So the government should be able to check if you are giving us something, monitor what you are giving out. Check. The president will be able to check, look, we're giving you so money. How effective are the money being shared? So we have not seen it. You are here, we are living here, we are in our midst, and we have not seen any palliative. Either we have seen one that have been shared to us.
Well, indeed, it's a good thing people of Ondo tend to see what Prince Adebola Adeboye is doing for his people. Away from that, elite, there's also just so much the media could do. So how best do you think one can actually hold the government, I don't want to say the government, these people, this person we voted into power, the government is more like a large word at some point. Those people we voted into power, how best can we hold them accountable? Sometimes we could talk about protests, but we know there's just little or so much protest itself could do, and we try to shy away from
Ezekiel,
other.
the first thing remains that we need to politically, what we need is political sensitizations.
We've been doing that over and over again.
Yes,
the press have been doing that, people have been doing that
daily. You have been doing that. We need to educate our people, political educations. We need to educate our people, just like civil education. Our peoples don't really towards their mind towards what the government is taking from them. Do you know that if you start explaining to them that, do you know that you have a right, and you start explaining bit by bit that somebody is taking big thing from you and giving you this small thing, if people start seeing the consciousness, self-consciousness, political consciousness, and start seeing it, okay, this is what they are doing, and the anger start arising.
Anger is more like we are trying to be insightful at this point. We are not trying to incite anybody into.
It's not anger in that direction. Anger in their ballot papers.
Okay.
Changing from taking money and voting people to voting people through consciousness. That look, you don't have anything, but we want to vote for you. This happened in the First Republic. It happened in the Second Republic. Shagari don't have money. Shagari is not richest, but they voted for them. People we have how old he was young. How old is them? They voted for them. It's not about money. The First Republic, the elections in 1963. These people, they don't have much money. They are just school stars. Some of them are just SC graduates. And because they love their people, they love their community, they want to do something for them. People don't start begging them buy rice, giving them coming in with big money. And people go out there and vote for them because they felt the love is there. The same thing we able to advocate our people and say, look, we don't need to be buying, people don't need to buy your consciousness, your conscience. That is your anger. Your anger should tell us that your children is not going to the best schools. Your anger should tell us towards that you are not living a good life. The life you are living is substandard. As a Nigerian, you ought to be living like this. Do you know that as a Nigerian, the wealth you have today, you could be living in a classic life like this. You show them that this is the wealth we have. We have a lot of resources. We have a lot of things that are not tapped. So we need a good leader, those who can better our life. We have a limited lifetime to live here on earth. So we are saying, let's live that life and enjoy our life.
There's a popular sentiment shared among citizens of Nigeria, and sometimes you sound as if you actually share that sentiment. There is sentiment or this belief that the government or the rich tend to make just enough from the poor to suit themselves. Is that true? Because sometimes in your world you tend to actually...
That is it. That is why...
You agree?
Yes. That's why Napoleon was saying that we give them little, let them be hungry.
Maybe I should rephrase. What they're trying to say is the presidency itself tried to make just enough from the poor in order to satisfy the rich.
The rich has already been rich. Has it taken more tax from them? Is it taxing them? Is it profiling what the rich is giving back to society? Is he asking them, why are my people hungry? These are fundamental questions the president should ask. If you are rich, you know, you have 5 cars, 10 cars, houses are being kept, and people are still living under the bridges. These are areas that you should be able to check and say, look, how could we balance these things? Because we have jobless people that are roaming around the street. Do you think our people just love doing Yahoo? Because they don't have any other means. They felt the government have neglected them, so they are on a self-help to help themselves. It is only when the citizen, the senior class citizen, are able to give out. That's why we say we could not be having everything and say all is well. All is not well. You cannot be having everything and say it is well. When your drivers, your cook, they are not living well. Your immediate relation, your communities, you don't having light, and you are living and you are having light in your house. You are not putting street light in your community, and all your streets is all your areas is dark. It's only your house that have light. The rich is not giving back to the community. The rich is not, so you should take from them. They are the same class. You should call them and sit them down and say, look, what are we giving back to the community? What are we giving back to the society? So if the president cannot do that, all these big fat rich men we have in our countries, and they are not ready to make sacrifice, and they want the country to be rosy. It will not be easy. People will be hungry. That's why I say the hunger is there. So people will be hungry. People will not be smiling because they are not being eaten.
I think the funny thing, Ajisafe, at this point,
the
last time you were here, you tend to really speak highly of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, you know, and the people he has already. But it's more like today your tone this morning tends to change a bit, if not way bit.
If the president is doing well, we praise him. I don't have any grievances with him. We always say that he's a progressive man. He come all the way from progressive party. But if he change tomorrow, we change also. We don't want him not to see towards Awolowo's progressive minded. No, we don't. What he promised us and what he have been doing ever since is towards in Awolowo principles of legacies, and that's why we intend to see him in that directions. And if he come into power for close to 1 year, and he's not only towards what Awolowo has done. Free education is giving. You are not doing massive agricultural. You are not doing massive revolution of industries in Nigerians. These are areas that we cry. We say no, we don't want it. And if you are giving out money, checkmate what you are giving out. Follow what you are giving out. If you are giving out palliative, let's see that the palliative be given to the right people in the society. These are areas where we are going to be having problem with him.
All right, we'll end it there. Thank you for joining us this
morning. Thank you for inviting me once again.
And also thank you to our viewer out there. Thank you for joining us on this episode of Daybreak Africa. You've heard it all. We are to hold our government responsible. However, while doing that, we should also be cautious when we are choosing our candidates, especially during the electioneering period, because that is actually the time we have the opportunity to make good choices of leaders. Thank you once again. I am Angela Daku. See you again next time.
And I forever remain Ezekiel. Ogar, have a great day.